helping you to weather good and bad economies without putting retirement on hold. This is the Tumolo Financial Podcast with Ken and Nick Tumolo. Ken and his son Nick know that creating a comprehensive financial plan can align your hard-earned life savings with your retirement goals. Consider them your retirement architects. Now, the Tumolo Financial Podcast with Ken and Nick Tumolo.
I was saying before we came on the air, Ken, here we are in May already. Wash my mouth out with soap. We're going to be getting ready for the holidays before we know it. We're saying, where did the summer go? It does feel like this happens every year. And then, of course, you're getting ready to become a grandpa for the first time. You want to talk about time flying by.
Oh, yeah. No, and that's gone fast, too. They told us back in, I'm going to say December, and all of a sudden it's almost June.
I know
it's May.
I know.
But it's every year. It seems like it flies by. We get to enjoy the seasons, and then it's kind of a blur. I mean, it just seems like yesterday I was coaching baseball because I coached the kids through Little League and the minor leagues and basketball, and it seems like it's yesterday.
I know.
So time just flies.
I know. And I know that the people that you speak with, you work with every single day in the office, you guys probably just sit there. You could probably never even talk about somebody's savings. You could just sit there and exchange stories about life and time flying and here we are and how do we get ready for this next phase. But, of course, what you want for folks is to not feel frazzled, rushed, or hurried in the process, in retirement, through the planning process. At Tumolo Financial, they want you to feel comfortable. They want you to feel confident. They want you to feel good about where you're headed. So getting to work on this plan, that's why they are here. And again, if you've got questions, we're here for you. You can give us a call at 860-854-3434 because tragically, just the notion of spending our savings is perhaps one of the most intimidating for a lot of retirees. You can't just unlearn the smart saving habits that you have cultivated for yourself with your spouse over 20, 30, 40 years of saving. And of course, that's what we do in our accumulation years. Then retirement hits. We're suddenly supposed to know how to flip the switch and start decumulating these assets and living on them. Researcher David Blanchett was on the Decoding Your Money podcast talking about how this is exactly when many retirees struggle the most. This is David Blanchett.
We are not trained to spend from portfolios. We spend 30 or 40 years of our lives saving money for retirement, dreading the idea of that balance going down, right? And then all of a sudden we get to retirement and it's like, oh, you're supposed to deplete this portfolio. You know how long you're going to live. You know what the markets are going to do. And if you spend too much, you're going to work at Walmart when you're 90. Like, we don't have a system that I think is well designed to really maximize how people utilize their savings in retirement.
We don't have the systems just across the country. I think he's speaking broadly, economically, nationally, the lack of education. But at Tumolo Financial, Ken, when somebody says to you, I just hate seeing the balance on my accounts go down, what systems do you have? Can you put in place so that we can spend with confidence in our retirement?
Yeah, and that's a big thing, getting our clients to spend.
Yeah.
We want to see them spend. Big reason why we do 6-month reviews, because we constantly put the projections in front of them.
Okay.
So in thinking about where it all comes from, when you're saving for retirement, and like you said, 30, 40 years of working and saving. So that's what all people know. And so in our mind, we're programmed. And that's what we think we're supposed to do, is just save. I could tell you last week I had someone in, and this has happened multiple times too. We ask them about their spending, and then they'll bring back a list of, roughly what they spend. And I can't tell you how many times people have put on that list money that I have to save to my savings account or to my 401k.
Sure.
And because they're just so used to it.
You can't stop the habits you have instilled in yourself for decades.
No, you got to tell them at that point, oh, we're not worried about saving anymore. It's really drawing out of accounts.
You're not worried, Ken, but me sitting here across the table, stressing out. Go ahead.
Exactly. That's the client or the person I'm meeting with. They're worried.
Yeah.
And to make even matters even worse is usually they're either just saving in a 401k all those years, or they're working with more of an investment advisor who just say, it's about growth.
Right.
Pile the money in, build that money as much as you can. and they just don't ever talk about spending it down or retirement because that's not usually what they do anyway. They're more of account builders, we'll call it.
Okay.
When people come over to us, they start to see things a little different. We're more about the other side of it, getting into retirement, managing the tax piece of it, because you can start to do that in retirement, and spending. Yeah, having our clients spend, getting them comfortable. So when I think about it, it's just we're programmed. Now we have to deprogram ourselves and start to think, okay, instead of saving, we have to now spend. So that's a little bit of a mental struggle going into retirement. It's we're shifting gears. It gets fun too. I mean, it's I'll tell you that fun for me. We're meeting with someone. One of my other advisors, Mark, and I were sitting in with someone, and they did a real good job saving. They saved in multiple types of accounts and really had no idea that they're actually doing something that was going to help them in retirement.
They were
with
just
the taxes.
saving sporadically because that's just what they did and it happened to work out. That's lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, they just saved. They were just savers. Oh, we'll put some money in the 401k. We're going to put some money in this after-tax account.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and we'll throw some money in a Roth because it sounds good. And that's pretty much how it went.
Okay.
Husband and wife, and they're telling me this. They're like, yeah, we had no clue. We just saved money. We heard we needed $1 million, $2 million to retire. So we just saved whatever we could. And in the meeting, I'm like, you guys did one of the best jobs I've ever seen because you spread the money between multiple areas. That's usually not the case. And with them, when we build out that retirement checkup, what we're able to do, and I started to show him and her, basically, hey, if we balance out the draws, so I showed him a before and after. I showed him, well, if you took everything from this one account, you're going to pay X number in taxes over 30 years, right? It was a pretty high number, and that's what most people would do anyway. But I go, but if we balance out the taxes between the accounts because of the way you saved, you save almost $150,000 in taxes over about 25 years is what it was.
Yeah.
But it was that big of a savings. Of course, they spend quite a bit, but they saved a lot.
Okay.
And what they saved is more than enough to get them through retirement. So it's just putting that in front of them. And they're like, oh, yeah, we've never seen anything like this. Our 401k plan doesn't do this. We saw other advisors. They just keep trying to sell us on investments. And I'm like, wow, it's really two types of advisors out there. The advisors that build your accounts, and then there's more of the retirement planners, and that's more of what we do. So we dig into the tax piece of it. Always starts with that retirement checkup, by the way. Our number, 860-854-3434, or go right to our website, tfcheckup.com, and book an appointment there. Just wanted to throw that out there because the thing is like that one person we met with, the couple, and they didn't know about, the planning part of it, how powerful it is. And I'm going to continue on that with that a little bit. Think about it. They saved roughly, we'll say $150,000 in taxes over that period of time. But the magical part of it, and you could do a little research and do a Google search on compounding. Yeah. Take $150,000, actually won't work out exactly that way. We'd have to spread that out over time. But either way, if you put it in a calculator and compound it and only give it like a 4% rate of return, 150,000 comes out to a lot more money by the time 25 years hits. It would almost, we're going 20 years. It's probably $300,000 to $400,000.
Wow.
So more in their pocket. And it's just because they saved money on taxes. Has nothing to do with the return of the portfolio. All it had to do with was running a strategy.
Okay. Yeah.
So planning is really important.
Yeah.
So when I think about that, going into those decumulating years, I can't even say the word, Heather.
It's okay.
Just the scary years, you're afraid you'll see your accounts go down. For some people, proper planning, they saved enough. Through those years, their accounts actually go up. And then we got to worry about how do we move this money on efficiently to loved ones. For others, we see the account go down because they didn't save quite enough. And taxes can help in that area too. I had a woman in, this had to be about a year ago. And I just remember the story because she was working with an advisor that basically told her she didn't save enough money. Okay. And he was telling her, you're just going to run out of money. You're going to go broke. You can't retire. Right. And she was at that time about 65 years old. And he was pretty, like the way she put it, he was pretty tough on her.
Well, and also that's not helpful. Like what is he doing? Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of felt bad. And there's another piece of the story that just wasn't nice what he did. But on top of it, she came in, she's telling me that story. I'm like, well, let's just start with your numbers.
Okay.
And because she was even nervous coming in because she was like, her idea of an advisor was,
somebody
I'm
who's going to shame her,
guy or woman that, they're going to look at me and feel like I didn't do great and looking down on her. And that's not the case. It shouldn't really be like that. It's like you're trying to help people.
Right.
And so she came in and basically what we did is we gathered the information, what she saved. She had pretty good social. Actually, it was the social piece was pretty high. She basically husband passed away years ago.
Okay.
So we had a couple social securities to work with.
Okay.
So we're able to do a little bit of planning where in the beginning, we'd have her take her social and then switch to her husband's a little bit later and get a little bit of a jump in income.
Okay.
Which one of the strategies.
That's an interesting point, though, because I'm sure a lot of people don't realize you can do that. If you're in a widowed situation, you can start with one and move to the other. It's just Social Security alone. There are options that people probably don't realize they have.
People miss them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you could flip it around the other way. You could actually start his and then switch to hers.
Okay.
That's what we did with my mom because my dad passed a long time ago. We started with my dad's for my mom and then we switched to hers later on when she was older.
Okay.
And it's so with this woman, it was really, okay, well, now we're going to do some Social Security timing, change the way that you draw Social Security. She had some money in a 401k. And then she had some after-tax money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And after-tax money, most of the taxes are paid on it. And what we did with her picture was we changed when she was drawing social and then switching to one later on.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of it, we did some tax balancing. What we did was some money was coming from the 401k, which is fully taxable. Some money was coming from the bank account, which most of that wasn't taxable. On top of it, we found her a few things that would earn a little bit more interest on the money in the bank because she was earning nothing on that money to begin with. But the thing was between the two sources and the social, what we did was we averaged the taxes down. Okay. The other advisor was right. If he drew everything from her 401k, she would run out of money and all that by the time she was about 80, 82. But when you balanced out the taxes, paid less in taxes, timed the social, we got her out to 89 years old, which is pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
Where, you can retire by the time you're 89, most of the time you slow down. And her idea is, what if I work one more year is what she said. And I go and I punch it in. Like, well, if you work one more year, then your money lasts till 91. And I would say that would make it real comfortable, the plan. On top of it, when we're running these projections, we run them at a low rate of return. We run them worst case.
Okay.
So if she works one more year and the market's pretty good to her, her numbers are going to be great.
Okay.
So
got it.
So again, it all starts with that Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup. You got to know where you are. Okay. You got to pull the planning in. And when you start to do all those things, then you start to have your answers and you start to feel more comfortable spending in retirement. Our number, 860-854-3434, or visit us right online, tfcheckup.com.
Investment advice offered through Tumolo Wealth Management, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here.